Most of the time, what I see is coaches are offering consideration and investment stage calls to actions and content to folks who are at the awareness stage. So let's go through each of these stages. Awareness stage are people becoming aware of your brand. Before this, they did not know that you exist. This is the coldest traffic. They've never heard of your brand before. They may not even be fully problem aware of their problem, even solution aware. They definitely probably haven't even bought into the solution, even if they are solution aware. So they are really the furthest out from the investment stage in the buyer's journey. But most of the time, what do coaches do here? Buy my thing. They are putting out content to people in the awareness stage, asking them to buy their thing. And not only are most of the time people asking them to buy their thing, they're asking them to buy their thing priced at over $1,000. A lot of times it's like a higher ticket investment for a B2C person who may not even be problem and solution aware and then bought in. And then folks are wondering why there might be buyer remorse. This offer should be here. It should be in the consideration and in the investment stage. To the people who are problem aware, these consideration folks, and not only problem aware, but they're aware of your brand, and not only aware of your brand, but they're aware of your solution. And not only that, but they're considering your solution. When you put this content in the right place, these people are ready to hear the messaging of this because they're already considering it. Your costs for whatever ads or even the resources of amount of content you're needing to produce, if you're doing this all organically, decreases because it takes less messaging. At this stage, they're not even problem aware. So you're trying to explain what the problem is to get them to buy the thing, let alone what your business is about. So we need to start moving these pieces in the right place. So what would be helpful for this, for the awareness folks? At this stage, a lot of times it is education. A lot of times it can be entertainment, and that can mean like edutainment. That doesn't mean that you have to be doing TikTok dances or hopping on trends at all. And a lot of times those are the main focuses there, and value. Like all of that's value. This is very value driven, introducing people to your brand. At this stage, I'm not even producing content about me yet, or here's what my brand values are, or here's what my mission is, because they likely don't care at this stage yet. They're still, from their point of view, not even aware potentially of their problem. So then now people have become aware of their problem, and they have maybe actually not even aware of their problem, but they are aware of you. They're aware that your brand exists. So then what do you offer at this familiarity stage? This is where you can start to introduce your brand. This is where you can deepen the education because now they have maybe become more problem aware, and now you're introducing them more to solution aware. So maybe this is your processes, this is case studies, this is testimonies, this is behind the scenes, this is about your brand, right? And you're deepening that connection with these folks with the goal to move them to consideration. So they are now problem aware. They are now becoming solution aware because you offer a solution to this problem that you've helped illuminate or bring more forward for them. And then now the purpose isn't just to show them the solution, but also position why you're the right solution, especially for the people that are, because there's going to be some folks where you're not the right solution for them, and that's okay. And maybe they move back into this awareness stage and education, or maybe they really aren't for your brand at all and they move away. This is not static. This moves back and forth, and people move throughout these circles. But our role is to move people in this direction to the investment. So now in the consideration phase, this is where you have more case studies, but effectively when you're offering the buy my thing at let's just say 1K plus, they are more open to hearing it because they already know about their problem and their solution. And now at the investment stage, you're asking someone to pull out their credit card. So maybe you are offering any final reminders on things. This could be natural scarcity. There's other different seasonality things that happen all the time that allow natural scarcity, as well as maybe you have bonuses that people can get in that are expiring. But these are kind of those final reminders of, hey, you were interested in this, you've expressed interest, you're ready for this investment, here's how to do it. And then there's more. And these can be broken down. This is very basic customer journey. But effectively, our role is this. Our role is to move folks like this, even though we know this is really what's happening. People are constantly moving back and forth through this. And our role is to move them this way through our content. So, how do we do this with our content? We just talked about the types of content, the types of CTAs, and we'll dive in deep through like examples of what that really looks like individually. But I want to quickly share with you how also you can move people this way at a more quicker rate, because if you're doing this all organically, like that takes time and you need to build that within the algorithm, and depending on if it's a newer brand, it could take varying amounts of time. So how do we do this quicker? We can help to leverage this content with ads. So, for example, awareness, these folks have never heard of you before. Like I mentioned, this is cold traffic. At this stage, this is where you can run cold traffic ads to now put some of this best content, this strong education and value and entertainment content, edutainment content, into the feeds of your ideal client. It's not just random cold folks, right? We're putting them into your ideal client. We are offering a ton of value, which a ton of value means doesn't mean a lot. Like we are also considering too that a lot of times people think a ton of value means I'm going to be over delivering and literally giving them a 20-page guide. Is that valuable that someone now has to take a week to process something that they were hoping to get to get an overview within 15 minutes? So value also has to do with how can someone process the content I'm putting out, and am I effectively communicating that content? So we are offering a ton of value at this time, and we are putting this in their feeds. Okay. Now, at this next stage here, what can happen is on all of these platforms, running cold traffic to the stage 3. And again, like I mentioned, 1 to 3% of people are going to convert, but that means 97% aren't. And your ad costs are going to be so much higher when you're having to pay to break through these levels that you didn't earn. So if we move these into the right places, we can move this here, and now we don't have to spend as much for this type of content. In fact, we could do this at $5 a day in order to do this, versus if you were to do this here, you're likely going to be spending a few $100s a day in order to make sure that you're spending enough. So here, we're going to move that so that we're getting a bunch of folks aware of our brand at a lower rate, at a lower cost. And then now, as we move into these phases, this is already our ideal audience, right? Because we would have targeted only our ideal audience. So these are our ideal people who express yes, interest all throughout this journey going this way. So all throughout stage 2 through 4, and there's stages honestly beyond this, all of these folks are saying yes. So as they move further and further, they're saying yes. If they're moving backwards, they're saying no. If they're moving forward, they're saying yes. So all of these people have expressed interest, and we can create groups to re-engage these people. So on these social media platforms, they have tools where you can create something that is often called a custom audience, but effectively it's a retargetable audience where the platform puts these people into a list that you can retarget. So now, when you're putting your retargeting ads into these folks' feeds, you're now showing up again, and you can make sure that you are putting the right messaging. So when you are retargeting the familiarity people, you can make sure that you're messaging them with the right messaging that they would need to hear at the time in order to move to the next stage. And then you want to make sure that you are messaging, stage 3 with the right messaging so they're moving to the next stage. But all of this you can retarget. So instead of moving cold people directly here and asking for an investment, which is effectively someone coming into your store, you shaking their hand and saying, "Hey, what do you want to buy? I have this. Do you want to buy it?" No one likes being hounded. I don't know how many times I've walked into a store and someone's like, "How can I help you? Do you need a basket?" And it's just, give me a second to breathe. But apparently in the online space, it's an okay thing to do that same thing. So that is effectively what is happening when we try to market our products, especially higher ticket products, to cold traffic. So when we start to put these into the right pieces, we can pay lower ad spend because we're putting the puzzle pieces in the right place. But also, we are now able to reconnect with these people at the right stage with the right content. Effectively, we want to have all of this messaging. There's not, oh, I'm going to start with here and then maybe I'll integrate this in. We need all of it because all of it is needed to move people to these next stages and to keep people this way so they're not going backwards, or as little people are going backwards as possible, or the people who are going backwards really aren't our ideal client. And we've realized that, and that's great. We're saving both of our time. This is the system. How we like to get started is to make sure that we can get these up and going so that we're starting to build this retargeting audience. Because even if you're not sure what your offer is yet, that's totally okay. We're not making an offer at this stage, like a paid offer. We are providing education and value, and that we can get out right away and start to build up these warm lists so that by the time we are ready to run retargeting ads, or by the time we're ready to launch our offer or to run our webinar, we have a group of people that not only we can market to, but who are now in the familiarity, consideration, and investment stage. So that's how you can move this a lot quicker. All right, let me know if you have any questions. I'll talk to you later. Bye.